Alright, hey guys, it's Gulius once again with another Pubcast. I'm here with some new camera settings, hopefully trying them out, being able to follow the action a little bit better than last time. Change some speed, change some acceleration stuff, so we will see just how it works out. We have another high pub MMR game, a little bit higher this time. This is an upper 5K game with my friend playing the Venomancer. So on the Radiant side, we have Misery on the Venomancer, we have Alchemist on the 2 up arrows type thing, Monkst on the Crystal Maiden, Spectre being played by Ali26, and looks like an offlane Undying by Yoki Yopeli. Then for the Dire side, we are going to have Sven played by Banjo. We are going to have Crystal Maiden by Wow, LD's biggest fan. Natalie Imbrugula going to be playing the Slardar. And we have Mastermind taking up the Dragon Knight, probably going to be in the mid lane, and Ember Spirit rounding out the team on the top lane. So it looks like to start things off, we're going to have a trade of the bounty runes. Of course, now with that buff again to the bounty rune for Alchemist Greevel Greed, I believe he gets 500 gold up from the 400 previously. So he's already, he was at 1k gold to start off this game, so he's pretty rich already. Crystal Maiden getting caught out, and she's going to die to the first blood. Both of the stuns from those 2 melee characters are going to get her instantly killed. Poor Crystal Maiden. So in this offlane, it looks like it's going to be an offensive try versus Spectre and Crystal Maiden. And to be fair, Spectre and Crystal Maiden are going to have a rough time here. Spectre is going to probably die as well, as long as the stun is timed correctly from Slardar, and it is a follow-up arrow, and she dies as well. Crystal Maiden and Spectre will not be able to survive down here. If Sven gets a Clarity or Mango brought out to him pretty soon, they'll keep shutting them down. However, in their safe lane, Ember Spirit does not look to be doing as well, but Veno is leaving. Probably going to go support bottom. Let's bring up those last hits. And we have Undying leading the way, because he's currently able to zone this Ember Spirit back a little bit with this Decay spam, as well as Veno helping him out earlier on. So now we're going to have a try versus try in the bot lane. A Venomous Gale goes out on Sven. He's just going to right-click, though. Venomancer with his buffs, hopefully going to do a little bit more damage in the early game now. Might be more of a factor, and Sven actually kind of caught out on the wrong side, but an arrow hits Crystal Maiden. She puts out the freeze onto Sven, going to hold him in place. He might actually go down here, no Poison Sting yet on the Venomancer. He's going to be able to run away, and Crystal Maiden actually ends up falling to Slardar in the woods, or in the trees there. And Mirana's still right-clicking away on Veno. Veno's starting to run back away now, and he gets slammed down by Slardar, and right-click to death. Slardar's new, his Slithering Crush is actually pretty cheap mana cost-wise, only 80 mana as compared to, say, Sven's stun, 140 mana. Mirana's arrow, of course, only 100. So they've got some pretty cheap stuns here from Slardar that are easy to follow up and allows for follow-up arrows as well. So they're really going to shut down this Spectre. She has 3 CS and has already died once. Crystal Maiden's already died twice. It looks like they might even go on them again. Going on to the Crystal Maiden first. The Slithering Crush does not come out. He opts not to do it. However, his haste rune is going to allow him to catch up easily, and the arrow finishes her off. And Sven's running away. The Gale does connect, but Tower's not hitting him anymore. He might be able to escape. They actually turned back around on the Spectre, and Veno wants to do something here. Poison Sting might not be enough to actually kill off any of these heroes. Another Crush comes out just to deter Veno from chasing any further. So the tri-lane for the Dire is definitely destroying as of right now. If that arrow connected, that was a dead Spectre as well. He needs to get a poor man's shield up as soon as possible and just become as tanky as he can. Ember Spirit soloed by the Undying, that is surprising, to say the least. Maybe his Flame Guard just ran out at the wrong time and got a big decay off from the Undying and he fell. But that's definitely Ember Spirit's fault there. He should not be dying solo to an Undying. That's just not the case. Especially not solo. That's ridiculous. But we have Sven finally getting caught out and going to go down to the Veno and Crystal Maiden. So they do get a return kill eventually, and they're starting to secure Spectre's farm, and it looks like they're trying to now rotate around. Slardar's come to the mid. Got a bottle charge from the Dragonite. They're going to look to go into the Alchemist, who's been farming contently in this mid lane. Has 14 CS, and is leveling that Greevel's Greed Acid Spray build, so he's really going hard on the CS. This looks like a support Slardar, and it's kind of an interesting idea. We'll see if the phase on Sprint now makes him able to be a more potent ganker and actually allow him to fulfill this role instead of a more carry-based role. DK, however, is beating Alchemist in the last hits, but with his Grievous Greed, of course, Alchemist is really ahead of the DK in terms of net worth, which we can bring up right now. Yeah, you can see he's already got almost a 1,000 gold lead. He's not going to get the bounty rune here, but he does get a regen. He could still use that to stay in lane and help sustain and get last hits. Spectre does bring up that poor man's shield. Sun goes down on Crystal Maiden. They really want her dead. She's only got 473 life, and she falls immediately. Are they actually going to be able to kill anyone else as a return? Some chip damage going into Sven, but they really don't have a lot. But he's actually dying faster than expected with no poor man's shield or stout shield to help protect him. If there's a ward that comes out, he actually throws a stun but dies just before throwing that out. Or just after throwing it out, of course. 86 health left on Mirana. She is going to be just fine, though. Venno actually choosing to max Poison Gale, or at least get 2 points in it. Then he'll probably go back for wards. But looking for that early fighting that Venomous Gale is going to offer him. Crystal Maiden wants some levels up in mid. She hasn't used any of her regen because she dies instantly. Poor character. All she needs is just some stats, and she's going to go down here again. At this point, she shouldn't be in lane. She'll just die wherever she goes. She needs to really get to the jungle. And Alchemist coming in here, he doesn't have the damage, I don't think, to kill off this Dragon Knight. They can't kill him when he's in his rage form either, but he doesn't have any damage. And that's Chemical Rage, to be specific. This is allowing Ember some time up here. Undying had to go back. And Ember Spirit should win this lane in a one-on-one situation. There really is no way that Ember dies. He might get zoned a little bit, but after a while, once the Flame Guard comes up, he should be able to take on that Undying. And we have the Venno getting comboed down with these multitude of stuns. He dies, and the Sven stun now coming out on Spectre. Will he be able to dagger into the trees? That looks like his only way of escape. Actually, a Crush coming out as well. Ooh, and he does go down. This Spectre, not able to get any farm, has a Quelling Blade, and that's pretty much it, along with her poor man's shield. They are getting the Alch farmed, and that's their only saving grace at this point. Undying's doing okay at top. He might actually, yeah, he actually goes down here to Ember Spirit, which is so much for that saving grace, right? Venomancer coming up here, looking maybe to gank with the Spectre. Actually, no, probably just going to start farming up here. Obviously, not going to be a gank with Spectre and Venomancer. But we do have Alchemist starting to zone out the DK with the Acid Spray. Of course, DK is not faltered by that at all. He's staying up there with net worth with the Alchemist, but Alch is one bounty rune away from just jumping almost about 500 gold ahead of the Dragon Knight. Sven starting to get zoned here by Undying. The DK Max is an interesting strategy, doing a lot of damage to these strength heroes that are on the dire side. But the changes to Tombstone do make it a lot weaker, so maybe that's why he's justifying the Decay build instead of maxing the Tombstone, as I miss Venomancer going down to the Ember Spirit. An easy kill for Ember, soaking up all the poison damage with that Flame Guard. Gonna farm up these neutrals, and he's looking pretty good. He's come back from those deaths to Undying, and he should be just fine. Spectre, though, really hurting. Net worth down pretty far. Mirana, an interesting build, looking to max Arrow and Starstorm. We're gonna leave that probably at level 1 for quite a while. I expect we'll see DK pretty soon looking to push down this mid Radiant Tower. He has that dragon form, and that's just something you come to expect with the Dragon Knight. Not much you can do about it. It's going to happen eventually, but not with Alchemist sitting there with his Acid Spray. He went for a Medallion Rush, which is interesting. Maybe he'll be looking to get Roshan as well, but Medallion has been nerfed in terms of Roshan, and DK actually going on to the Undying. He stuns him up. Could he get the... Wow, he's not going to run away. The Decay is enough to keep him alive. Slardar looking to come after and chase. But Slardar gets the kill, gonna fall himself, and DK gonna fall. That Tombstone's starting to do some work there. And my camera work not doing work. This new scroll speed is quite interesting. It's sometimes hard for me to adjust to. But, nonetheless, still a good fight in mid. It really does give him a lot of armor reduction with the Medallion plus Acid Spray. That is gonna be a good farming tool for him if that's how he chooses to use it, which is what I assume. Support Sven and Slardar. It's not something we see very much. But it's worked out for them so far. They really shut down this Spectre, who's still being shut down. Mirana's free farming and pushing the bot lane. DK's back to middle. Flame Breath goes out. Just going to try to spam down this wave before Venom is able to push the tower with Alchemist. But his Dragon Form's still in cooldown for 60 seconds. Going into the mid game here, I think that we are going to have an advantage for actually the Radiant side. To be honest, I see... Okay, well, Crystal Main just died, and Venom's going to die as well. This Phase Rush strategy, though, is paying off heavily for the Dire. The Radiant just can't stand up to it. A lot of the heroes are too squishy. Originally, I was thinking, you know, they have an Undying, and that offers you so much mid-game teamfight. Like right here, they can't push just because Undying is a hero. But besides that, who really brings anything to the team fight? Spectre's ultimate does nothing at this point in the game. All she has to do is farm. Alchemist doesn't bring much. He might be Ags rushing for somebody else. That's interesting. Venomancer will be bringing a lot of damage with his ultimate, but it's very costly mana-wise, and he's got to get some mana regen or increase his mana pool to be able to sustain that. And Crystal Maiden is just food right now. She's got a nuke and a slow, but as of right now, she doesn't bring much to a team fight. So definitely mid-game going to favor the Dire. We wonder what DK will go into. Is it going to go into the Shadowblade build? Could it be drums? It could be a fast BKB if he chooses to go that route. We'll have to see. I'm expecting to see a Shadowblade out from him. Ember Spirit. Gonna just go back to base. He has a Remnant ready for him to return, so he'll be just fine in terms of farming. Crystal Maiden and Undying are rotating up here. Gonna see maybe if they can get a pick off onto DK. Perhaps. But these two heroes I don't think are gonna be able to take DK and Ember Spirit down. They are just too big. Dragon Knight pops his ultimate, starts picking away at that tower, but the Tombstone is dropped. And they're going to start fighting. Stun goes out onto the Crystal Maiden. She's hit up, but she frostbites the DK, who's taking a lot of zombie damage. Decays are also stacking up, but the Flame Breath, Breathe Fire, Fire Breath Breathing Dragon is going to end up wiping out that Undying, who just couldn't get that last decay off. Maybe could have turned the fight if he was able to, but not able to, so let's not talk about it. And this tower is probably going to go down to this combination of heroes. We have Mirana and Sven just hanging out in the mid lane. Stuns being traded there, Alchemist and Sven. And plinking away at Mirana, the Spectre ultimate might finish her off. It does. Alchemist, however, may go down himself to a bunch of right clicks from Sven and Slardar. But he's pretty fast. He runs away, charging up a stun. Going to throw that probably back onto the Slardar. And Slardar is going to go down, so is Spectre, though. Which in the end is not going to be worth it, this trade here. But Sven depends on... Yeah, he's probably going to die. Nope, the wand saves him because, of course, Poison Nova is not lethal.
Oh boy, Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Even still, only ticked him down to 2 damage, so
Ooh, Dire, you gotta fortify them, their structures.
he would have been just fine. Not sure if I like getting Flesh Golem on Undying this early. I feel like you really want to max the Tombstone first, but if you have the mana pool for it, maybe he feels comfortable with Arcanes and Bassi. But, you know, personal choice. He does have the Crystal Maiden, so he has a lot more mana regen in that department. And the ward's being maxed now for Venomancer, so looking to push and de-push as well. Spectre gets a Morbid Mask. Interesting choice. Maybe for a Helm, or just sustain while farming. We'll see where she chooses to go with this. And she's actually starting to catch up a little bit to the Ember and the DK. Ember Spirit should have more farm, honestly, at this point, and Alchemist himself has already got nags. That is fast. He could give that to Venomancer. He could give that to Undying. I think, actually, giving that to Undying is the right move, and he does. That's actually insane. Undying is gonna be crazy. He's gonna steal 10 strength. 10 strength when he decays people, I believe. Right? 10? Will it not tell me? It should be 10. He should steal 10 strength. I want to keep it on Undying and see what he does here. Drops a Tombstone in mid. No, it must be only when... It's only when his ultimate is active, that's right. Okay, that's right. That makes more sense. Doesn't seem super OP. There we go, there it is! Look at that, down to... Or no.
Could ya?
Maybe I'm incorrect. Thought it was 10 strength. Yeah, 10. He must have hit it just before he popped his ultimate. So actually the Ags rush onto Undying is going to be pretty crippling for the team fight of the Dire. They're not going to be able to do much. And look at that. He's down to 600 HP from 1 decay. That is insane. That does so much damage, it's almost hard to comprehend. This is actually a pretty legitimate strategy. They couldn't shut down the Alchemist farm, and now it's coming back to bite them in the butt. However, if Undying's ultimate is down, it's just going to do that regular 4 decay steal. But if he gets like a 3-man ultimate decay, that's just going to win them a team fight, bar none. Because people will die to anything. And here we go, they're going on to the Dragon Knight, who's going to throw out the Dragon Tail and the Breathe Fire. Stuns all coming out of Alchemist. Undying hit as well in the AoE. Those stuns. Venom goes down in the back lines. And Slaughter going to Slithering Crush onto the Alchemist. He goes down as well. It's 3 down already for the Radiant side. And Undying could be next. He does decay, but he's not in the ultimate form. And he's going to go down. That's a team wipe for everyone but Spectre, who's chilling out in the bot lane, getting some farm. Can't blame her, but not really that farmed. Doesn't have a relic just yet. It is 15 minutes in the game. She's got 2k gold left to go, and then has to get the recipe on top of that. So Spectre, like we saw in the laning phase, not going to have too hot of a game, and it looks like the Dire are going to penalize this by going for Roshan. Sorry, I am drinking a Slurpee because my voice is a little bit sore. Who doesn't love a Slurpee, right? Pina Colada, man? Shit. And it looks like the Radiant may be realizing they're not strong enough to do this quite yet, but with DK in here, they should be just fine. Slardar with that minus armor is doing so much work. They do have a medallion as well, but it's not as strong as it used to be. But it still does help. Who's that actually coming out from? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That icon is just for Slardar's ultimate. Let's see who they give it to. I would probably give it to the DK. And they do. Because he's going to be their frontliner. He's going to tank the damage. He's going to get up in their face. And he actually went for a blink. I like that. It serves the same type of purpose as Shadow Blade, but it's more instant. And I think it allows for a higher skill cap than Shadow Blade. It's less counterable by sentries, and at this level of play, you expect people to be buying sentries and detection. So you don't get that bonus damage, but it's still a really good choice. Alchemist, let's see. Is he going to farm up another Ags? I doubt it. He's got a Ring of Protection. Not sure what he's going to build that into, but we'll have to wait and see what Alchemist goes for. Undying actually atop the net worth charts now. I assume the Ags he has built into his net worth from the Alchemist giving it to him. Slardar, just with Tranquils, he's actually super poor. He's been hitting a lot of good crushes, but he really can't farm at all. Like, he can't even farm this Wildkin camp. But he's playing basically a hard 5 on this team. Level 2 Dragon form coming out. They are going to use that red Fire Dragon to try and take down the Tier 2. It is fortified by the Radiant side. Undying drops a Tombstone. That's going to force them back a little bit. But unless reinforcements arrive, the Moonlight Shadow goes out from Rana. They want to engage. TP canceled from Crystal Maiden. And a Gale goes out onto everybody. And the ultimate from Venomancer does hit on 3. Undying in his ultimate form. Can he do anything with this? Can he decay anybody? He hits it onto DK, who's probably going to fall here. Yeah, he's going to go down for sure. But he does have the Aegis. Let's see if this decay steal can be real from the Undying. What's he going to be able to do? Are they going to take him down before he can do this? If he gets a decay steal on 2, that's actually going to be quite big. And he is just unkillable by these strength heroes. Well, Ember Spirit not included in that category, but stealing so much HP. This Dragon Knight's down to 800 with Treads and Bracer. But they don't have the damage to finish it off. The downside to this Undying Aghanims is that it doesn't add damage. It just stakes away more strength. And until Spectre gets more farm, they don't really have much damage at all. And somewhere on the map, Undying died. It was right in front of my face. Look at that camera work. Wow. That's me clapping for myself. Great job. Dire's going to take down this Tier 2 for Radiant. And going to open up that jungle area for them. Also in the future, if they want to look to Roche, that also secures them more. If they take out the Radiant Tier 1, they'll really have the next row secured up for themselves. Invis rune spawning bottom. DK will probably grab that up in just a moment. Ember Spirit went bots first, and he's going to go back now for the Battle Fury. Just saw Alchemist pick up a Solar Crest, I believe. I don't know. Interesting choice, I guess. I don't really see what it does for him in this situation. Can help him farm, can help him target down players, but he really needs to get bigger, I believe, than going for a Solar Crest. Let your Crystal Maiden or your Undying go for that. Mirana probably going for a Maelstrom. I doubt it'll be a super late Midas, unless this is it flying out on the bird right now as I speak. No, it is a Maelstrom. So a pretty standard build from Mirana. Phase, Wraith, Aquila, Maelstrom. Maybe the extra Wraith band for just more stats. But let's see a Spectre Ultimate coming out. The fight is on bottom lane. They're trying to kill this DK, but he is pretty tanky. And unless Undying gets a big decay on him, they're going to have quite the hard time taking him down. And there it is. So he's down to 300 HP. Can they get him? Spectre, one last right click, takes him down. She has her relic now. She's been farming pretty well. Let's see if she can actually make this comeback happen.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Ember, without his Battle Fury on him yet, really can't farm this stack. Unless he puts on his Flame Guard. There it is. All the meanwhile, they're fighting bottom and just killing a DK. Sven and Slardar are taking out the top tier 1. Sven also now has a blink himself. So lots of blinks coming out here for the Dire, as well as just a lot of mobility in general from your Ember Spirit. Alchemist got his stun charging. He's going to pop one himself. And he's just going to chill in the mid lane. The Moonlight Shadow comes out from the Dire. They see the Ancient stack. They're going to look to take it. Alchemist does not want this to happen, so he's, of course, going to try and contest. And he stuns up the illusions there. Going to get stunned himself by the Slithering Crush. Arrow to follow up. Can they actually take him down through the Chemical Rage? Looks like maybe heal comes out from Undying. Not enough to save him, but wow, big turnaround with the ultimate from Crystal Maiden and the Tombstone. Really just destroying Mirana and Slardar. Alchemist dies in the process. Ember Spirit has a Venomous Gale on him, so he's really ticking down quite a bit. Spectre can't follow up. Actually, in comes Dragon Knight with the Breathe Fire and the Searing Chains from the Ember Spirit, enough to finish off the Spectre. So Spectre dying there is actually pretty big. Her Radiant's going to be delayed even further. Interesting to see the point booster here on Undying. I guess he was not expecting the Ags and picked it up before he noticed. Has a chainmail now, perhaps going for a blade mail. Could also be a mech, but I would doubt it at this point in the game. It's kind of late to start building a mech. Aghanim's coming out for Veno. Definitely the best choice. It's such a great item on Venomancer. You get so much damage and so much value from that. It's absolutely insane. And a regen for him is just going to be exactly what he needs. Because right now his mana pool is super low. 429. His ultimate costs 300 mana. So he needs to get that Staff of Wizardry out to himself. Just in case during a team fight, he uses Gale and one ward. And he's totally mana screwed because even with the Crystal Maiden Aura, it's going to take him a couple seconds to regen that back up. And that's if he's at full mana when a fight starts, which he really will need to be. Like right now, if he started a fight, they'd be screwed. So he really needs to get his mana pool up. Alchemist gets caught out a little bit, but he's starting to get pretty tanky now. Does stun himself, but Sven has already run away. Crystal Maiden being hunted by the Sven, though. How smart will she be? She sticks around. Sven with the stun, and 1, 2, 3. Oh, Force Staff actually gonna save her. They're gonna turn this around. Alchemist though is gonna actually pay for that. Alchemist. The Emblem of Valor, or sorry, the Solar Crest. Emblem of Valor. What am I talking about? The Solar Crest gives him armor and dodge, right? But when you use it, he loses that. And Alchemist is a hero that super desperately needs armor. And he loses that when he applies it, so his tank ability gained from that item is all gone. DK blinks away, has a Yasha going to go for the S and Y. Pretty standard DK stuff here. A lot of cores now I see building S and Y. It's just the stats are just too good to give up. And the strength combo, the stun men coming in onto the Venomancer, who, ironically enough, does not have mana for the Ultimate. And he's going to go down, just gets it off in time, and actually they end up killing DK and Mirana. Crystal Maiden going off in the back, not doing too much, but Ember Spirit going to have to run away, gets the steering chains off onto Undying, chasing him with that Aghanim's ultimate, is going to DK again. He's down to only 300 HP, he does use the bottle, get himself back up, he's at 50 from Crystal Maiden, and Spectre, come on Spectre, chase it down, and they do kill him. Yes, it might have actually been the Radiance damage that ended up killing that Ember Spirit. Make it 4 heroes. Sven, the only one to survive. That DK is just doing work. 3k HP because he stole 20, 30, 40 strength. He stole 40 strength in one team fight. That's not okay. Very cool strat though to see. Very cool strat. So props to this this alchemist to sacrifice himself to give Undying this awesome start. And they're going to commit to this Sven. I don't know if this is a little too greedy. They might not be able to actually kill him off. Yeah, he just runs away. You're not going to kill this Sven. He's looking pretty tanky. He also has a Blink Dagger at the ready. Although Radiance, of course, does cancel it. They're going to go on into the Undying. If he can't get this Aghanim's Decay off, he's going to go down immediately. Will he be able to do it? He's got like 2 seconds left. He lives and he soul rips himself and he'll be just fine. However, the Moonlight Shadow is still out. That Battle Fury doing work. Crystal Maiden gonna go down. Undying pops his ultimate after Decay, so that one did not steal 10 strength. They're trying to focus down the Tombstone. Soul Rip comes out onto the Undying himself, but he goes down. Lots of chaos in this fight. Mirana being chased down by zombies. Venomats are fighting DK in the mid. Venom's gonna go down. Over here, Sven gonna survive. We have Spectre dying, but Slardar just barely surviving himself. Almost everyone dead on the Radiant besides Alk, and everyone on the Dire side super low. I think what Alk really needs to do is take a step back here and focus on his own farm a little bit. He sacrificed a lot to get that Alk his Shadow Blade, or his Alk is getting Shadow Blade right now, to get the, Undying his Aghanims. That's great. But at some point, you can't have two useless heroes on your team. Crystal Maiden, actually not useless anymore. She's managed to farm up a surprising amount of items, and Alchemist right now is feeling kind of useless in team fights. Even stunning himself there. You can't target that ability on creeps, my friend. Actually, it looks like an AC going to be coming out for Undying. I like this, actually. I like this. This helps his Alchemist, this helps his Spectre quite a bit, and himself maybe transitioning more into kind of a semi-carry-ish role with the Ags. Because stealing 40 strength and right-clicking people is going to do a lot of damage. Not carry damage, but enough. We have another look at Roshan. Slardar again in this 5th position role. The weirdest thing. Is going to be ready there with his ultimate to take this down. And he's going to tank it. What a nice guy for the DK. Ember Spirit in the meanwhile goes down. I don't know. He must have been farming really low and Alchemist just caught him out with the Shadow Blade. Spectre ultimate comes out, scouts the Roshan, going to scare them away from that. And going to force Mirana to run away. She went Helm of Dom. She's going for a late game carry build. Everyone here is kind of opting up for the late game. Now comes super late game. Ember Spirit, pretty strong. Alchemist, not so hot. He'll get 5 cap pretty fast, even though right now he's behind. If he starts farming for himself, oh, hold on one second. We have a Glimmer go out on CM, and she's going to be fine and escaping from the DK. Moonlight Shadow popped, but not really to any avail. They could turn back onto this DK, who is dusted. He's really slow from all the poison and the Crystal Nova. Late game, if Sven manages to get farm as well past this BKB, like some real damage items, I would give the advantage to the Dire. Crush from Slardar, gonna kill off the Veno. Spectre in a lot of trouble here with the Blade Mail, not gonna do anything. She has a Blade Mail, but unless your hero is actually tanky, Blade Mail does not really it's not really worth what you pay. You don't get enough value out of it. All the stuns come out on Alk. He's just controlled to death. Undying with a decay. Steals a lot of strength, but again, there's no follow-up damage. CM ulting actually gets him from the trees, and he survives just enough, but Mirana takes him down. So Mirana's greedier build starting to pay off, actually doing some deeps. I think that the Shadowblade pickup might have been a mistake. I think they need to have BKBs. Because looking at this lineup, you got 1 stun, 2 stun, 3 stun, Searing Change, which is a snare, and then you have 4 stuns. You have so many stuns and so many magical nukes. You're gonna need that BKB on your course. Ember Spirit with the Battle Fury, staying atop the net worth chart. Undying's up there as well because he got that fed Aghanims. He's actually pretty close to an Assault Cuirass himself, about, math, 700 or 800 away. Sven is up there now as well with the BKB and a Helm of Dom, so he's gearing up for late game. He's looking like a force to be reckoned with. When he pops that ultimate, he's just gonna rip through people, dealing that 200% damage. He's gonna shred some faces of Crystal Maiden and Venomancer. Venom not yet with his Aghanims. He is level 11. He's been there for quite some time. They scout the Roche, but not really gonna matter. Venom ults, but I mean, there's no follow-up, so even if it takes him down to low, not gonna do anything. He does get a Glimmer Cape from the Crystal Maiden, but still gonna die to a Breathe Fire from DK. And they're pinging to go bot lane. Spectre picking up anything else? Anything on the bird? Nope. Silver Edge for the Alk. I think it's too greedy.
Dyer's courier got killed. Are you kidding me?
Too greedy. But let's see if his greed works out. Gonna stun the Ember Spirit. And wow, with the Solar Crest, they actually do take him down. That's just an Aegis though. Spectre pops her ultimate. And Slardar's deep in there, but he forces out right away, immediately. And Ember's got a Remnant ready to go for if he gets caught out. He has a Daedalus as well. Tombstone comes down. Glimmer Cape onto the Alchemist, but he just gets Sleight of Fisted to death. Spectre could be the next one to fall. Throws out a dagger so we can run through the trees. Big decay coming onto Ember, so he's going to have to be a little bit scared. Finally, some health coming out, Vitality Booster for Spectre. Needs a lot more than just that, though, to survive. And 2-man stun from Sven, and oh my god, that's disgusting. Oh jeez. Words escape me right now as the destruction of the Radiant team is just imminent. Spectre running away, Crystal Maiden running away, almost dies to the last Sleight of Fist there from Ember, which of course I couldn't remember what it was called just 2 seconds ago because my brain had a fart. But regardless, the Radiant team goes down, besides Spectre and Crystal Maiden surviving on the skin of their teeth. And this could be a Rax actually going down here for the Radiant side. And Sven using his Blink to go in, Crystal Maiden glimmers and tries to ult, but she just gets stunned immediately. They're going to have vision. There's probably a gem somewhere as well. No, there's not. But they just killed her so quickly. Doesn't even matter. DK decided just to save up 5k gold, because screw items, right? Just get money. Fuck bitches. Mirana with 2.5k. This whole team is very rich now after taking out this Rax. Even Slardar now has a Blink. Arrow flying through. The top tier 3 tower for Radiant goes down. Not getting a kill. Mirana getting chased by Spectre. Does not have Leap. She already used it, so she's just going to opt to TP out. Are there any stuns? No, she dies to the DK and the damage from the Radiant. That was her best option, however, so had to try at some point. Alk doing Alk things farming. They are a pretty good team to hold off against one lane of creeps, one lane of supers. That's fine. However, once it starts to build up, 2 lanes is where you get to the point of, oh god, we lost. But they're not there just yet. Spectre probably going to go for a heart. That's what I would expect to see. She is running away as fast as possible. Going to go farm out the top lane. Slardar got his blink and probably going to build him to a BKB with that Ogre Club. So we can run in there, get those good crushes off. Or blink in, get a good crush, BKB, and run around bashing people and just causing general havoc. And a blink stun coming out. They kind of overlap their stuns there, so they might not be able to kill this Undying. He gets Glimmer Caped, and Venom may actually be the casualty here. But no, he doesn't die to the cleave damage, luckily. But he has to run away, and he uses ultimate there. So, Slardar did take a lot of damage, but he just goes back to the fountain and is able to survive. Alchemist just chilling by the Ancients, not doing much. Sven, gonna push in the mid lane. That way they can push in the bot. Take that. AC, fully complete for DK. That's what he opts to go for. Sven just pushing in mid casually. Goes down to the unexpected Undying damage. He's got an AC and an Aghanim Scepter.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ended up stealing 20 strength. I believe that was from Sven alone. Spectre goes down. Where was she? Oh, she was farming rather greedily. And Slardar and Mirana pick her off. Mirana's got more damage than I believe anyone would anticipate at this point. Because she's just really been farming her butt off and ulting whenever needed. There's a team fight going down on bottom, and Undying had already used his ultimate, so his DK is not that unstoppable force as before. Blade Mail actually doing quite some work. Ember Spirit going to go down to that. Can they catch the DK, though? No, his blink making big plays going to get away. And the cavalry has arrived now. Slardar and Sven coming in there saying, that's not how this is going to go down. Sven making big right clicks out, BKB, nullifies the Blade Mail. Says, I don't care about that. And he's going to run? Interesting. I expect to see them push in here. Sven is actually quite the monster at this point. Slardar, not quite happy with the all chat coming out from the opposing team. Interesting to see what DK will go for next here. He could go for a BKB. I don't think it's necessary. He hasn't been dying to too many nukes. I think he should go for more damage, to be honest. Or perhaps even a Satanic would be really nice. But we'll have to see. They've already got enough initiation. They don't need that. And speaking of initiation, was there a Venom there? He's dead. He's gone. Gonzo. Goodbye. Sayonara. See you later, pal. I kind of dig this support Slardar. It's really unique. I don't know if they planned to do it originally, of course, but it's a very cool idea. Going into Undying, he pops his ultimate. Here comes probably the final team fight of the game. Crystal Maiden with a BKB ultimate with a Glimmer Cape is going to be able to channel this whole thing, not affecting Sven, of course. Sven's cleave chopping through them, but he actually ends up going down. DK pops in, going to start right-clicking on this Alchemist, not doing too much damage because the Chemical Rage is really healing up really fast. And he eventually goes down, though. Spectre haunting into the fight. Are they going to be able to actually do anything here? The Blade Mail could start doing some potential work along with the Dispersion. But the enemy team, the Dire, just run away. Venomancer is TPing in. Does he have an ultimate? He does, but he gets stunned up immediately by DK. He might actually fall here before he can even cast it. He does, but DK, wow, with the blink, gets out of there. And Venomancer only hits Ember Spirit with his ultimate, who's probably going to survive by TPing out. If he Flame Guards, he can TP back home and he'll be just fine. So, a good hold actually from the Radiant. They are able to hold their base. It does cost them. Their team dies. But Mirana, she's not opting to get any tank. She's going for this really greedy damage build. Definitely starting to cost her a little bit. Not getting a BKB or even like just a drums is going to start hurting her. Or a Manta style would also be really nice. We now have a Monkey King bar from the Ember Spirit. I guess that's for the Solar Crest from Alk. Slardar farming up the Ancients. He's now strong enough to do this, especially with his ult, reducing all that armor. Ember atop the net worth chart. His Battle Fury has just propelled his farm, and he's gotten so many kills as of late with that Sleight of Fists. Look at that 1,000 damage crit. That's just a lot. Interesting to see what DK will go for next. He still hasn't decided. He likes to pool his gold. The evil mastermind. We'll see what he opts for in the future. Alk, a Lotus Orb is the choice. They're putting all their eggs in one basket on this Spectre. Aghanim's on Veno. That helps. He really needs level 16. It'll reduce the cooldown. It'll increase the damage, and he'll be able to do a lot more work. But this Spectre, unless he gets 2 more core items, 2 more big items, he's not going to be able to carry this game alone. And I think Alchemist is like, oh, I need to support with all this money I have, but when it comes down to it, if you can't kill the other team, who cares how much you supported? Sometimes it's okay to be greedy. And, yeah, it's okay. Sven popping his ultimate to try and take down this top Rex. May actually die himself. He pops BKB. He's going to try and run. He does stun, and Sleight of Fist coming through doing a lot of damage. Spectre ultimate, the Haunt goes out, but Sven still hasn't died, and they actually end up taking down 3. And could it be 4? Spectre, where are you? You are dead. But it's a 3-for-4 trade. Crystal Main being the only one surviving. Just channeling that ult for the longest he possibly can while he feels safe. Freezes up the Ember. However, he can still Sleight of Fist. And Crystal Main goes down to the Slardar. 2 buybacks coming out from the Radiant side. And a stun does catch Slardar before he leaves. So they don't actually get any racks. They don't actually get any racks. This game is going on much longer than I had anticipated. And Alchemist, the buyback penalty doesn't affect him very much because, of course, he has the Grievous Greed. So he can still farm pretty decently, even off of super creeps or buyback penalties. He'll still be just fine to keep farming. And I'm all out of Slurpee. Damn. Life is hard. They could also use some sentries or a gem, perhaps on their Crystal Maiden. But she's going for an Aghanim's. See, I think what they're doing here is Alchemist needs to be more greedy. He needs to get more items for himself. Crystal Maiden needs to be less greedy and get more items for the team. Yes, she got a Force and a Glimmer. That's great. But she also got a BKB and is going for an Aghanim's, while not getting sentry wards to deward common ward spots like this one right here, or this one right here, or a gem for her team. And I think Venomancer's been the one doing that, buying things like dust and wards. So it's an interesting balance between, you know, what do you buy and what do you get for your team. Third, Roshan, going to go down to the Dire. Radiant can't contest this at all. Interesting to see who they'll give it to. Goes to Ember. He's going to go for a Scotty. Undying ends up getting a Ghost Scepter, a good choice. See if we have any other big items. Spectre probably looking to get a heart. Doesn't have the money for it yet. Still needs another 1,000 gold for the recipe. Slardar on his way to a BKB. Mirana doesn't have much more than the last time we checked on her. Ember finished a Scotty. Wow. He is actually insanely farmed. The net worth tells the story of this game. And the fact that they haven't finished it yet is just a testament to how they're not playing as a team. Like right here. Just trying to YOLO in, and it's not going to work. You got to play as a team. Dota, 5 vs 5. If they throw this game, I mean, I don't even know how that's possible. Let's look. 20k gold lead. Let's look at our XP. And XP is actually coming back almost to 17k. If they kill the Ember here, that's the Aegis gone. They might even be able to kill him again. Venom actually used his ultimate already, so he can probably escape. Yeah, he's got a Remnant. He's out of there. But Mirana, under the cover of her Moonlight Shadow, gonna just run away. I would have liked to see her get a Manta or a Scotty, because she is pretty squishy for 44 minutes. Or a BKB. BKB on any of these guys would completely nullify Crystal Maiden's ability to kill them. Because her ultimate is doing quite some work. Surprisingly. This guy actually probably plays quite a bit of Crystal Maiden. Monkst. Lotus Orb finish on Alchemist. I would, if I had to choose percentages on this game, I think I would give it a 85% for Dire and a, oh excuse me, a 15% for Radiant at this point. There is a chance for them, but it requires a lot of throwing and a lot of miscommunication. It is a BKB for the DK. He has the cheese as well, so he is going to be hard to kill. Ember Spirit, where's he going to go? Back to the fountain. They have a courier here as well with a heart recipe. That is Spectre's. Wow, that was real close timing. He's going to get it to the secret shop, grab a Reaver, and run on out of there. Run, little dragon. Alchemist, his Lotus Orb has to reflect either, let's see, Dragon Tail, or it has to reflect Stormhammer from Sven. Those are the, I mean, it could reflect the Minus Armor from Slardar, not as huge of a deal, but if it reflects those two stuns, it might make the purchase actually worth it. As of right now, I don't see it paying off anytime soon. DK just blinks right in. He wants to go on this tower. He says, let's end this freaking game. Spectre haunts in. Going to go around to DK with the Blade Mail. Remember, he has a BKB and cheese, so maybe not the best target. Spectre still at pretty high life with the heart. But the Sleight of Fist is doing work. They're all clumped up so the Battle Fury can do it, but they actually end up killing the Ember Spirit, and the Mirana is already dead as well. So they're actually on the chase now. The DK is going to fall if he doesn't pop that cheese. He does pop the cheese. Let's see if he can turn this around. Crystal Maiden goes down, gets the freeze off onto the Slardar. That Decay doing work, still taking all that strength away from these heroes. In the meantime, however, I believe it was Sven takes out the top melee racks. So a little bit of rat action coming in. But Spectre is a powerhouse in these late game scenarios. Can never count Spectre out. And now Blink, level 16, and Ags on Veno. That also does a ton of damage. And they're going down quite a bit. Slardar, in these late game scenarios, is not going to carry his weight. And Undying and Alchemist finish off the Dragon Knight. This is getting interesting, folks. This could take a turn for the worse for the Dire. They have to keep farming up their Spectre. Let Veno and Crystal Bane get off good ultimates. And I really think that they can win these late game team fights. The problem is, there's still a tier 1 on bottom for the Dire. There's still a tier 2 on top. There is no mid, however. So if they win a really good team fight, no Roche yet. They win a really good team fight, not in their own base, which is what they have to do, they can then push up to get those mid racks. Might actually take down this tier 2 with just the creeps and pressure applied by the Spectre. See what she'll go for next. I would expect to see a Manta style or a Butterfly. Probably Butterfly. That's what I would go. Doesn't mean it's the right choice, but I think the evasion, only person to have a Monkey King bar is Ember Spirit at this point. And it's going to do a lot of work for her. The extra armor as well is, of course, going to be good. Ember Spirit now probably going into a second crit. I don't know. It's depending on how the other team is clumping up. If Battle Fury or second crit is more valuable, so we'll have to see if this pays off. Does get some damage going out. Remnants away. Not going to be ganked up by the enemy team. He sees Radiant are all there and decides to get on out. Sven charging in on the bot. Gonna just push it in a little bit. He notices Radiant are all mid. They dropped a Tombstone as well to just clear out this creep wave. This Undying is very liberal with his Tombstone usage, which is fine. It just means they won't have it for the next fight. But it dies pretty fast now anyways. Sven just pops his God Strength and runs on in. He says, I don't care, I want to kill these racks. Doesn't even pop a BKB. There it goes. He gets the ranged, but that's all he cares about. Ember Spirit ended up dying up here? What? How is he dying? There was a Veno and Spectre down here, I thought. How? Mirana's item progression has really slowed down. Slardar has nothing new. And DK went for a Helm of Dominator. I don't know, man. These guys are not playing as a team. Actually, she takes out... Oh! Pfft, and dies to that Agh's Venom ultimate, plus a little bit extra damage. Ends up killing her in the fountain. That just... It's so crazy how much damage it does. They have to be careful, though. This could take out the ranged Rax on bot. Sorry, I'm seeing if this lags a little bit. Seems like when I move the camera with the arrow keys, it lags a little bit. But, oh well. Lotus Orb out onto Alchemist, which actually reflects the minus armor back onto Slardar. Frozen up DK, gonna turn to a Frost Dragon. Dragon Tail up the Undying, who's gonna try right-clicking. No, he's gonna actually run away himself with the Glimmer Cape from Crystal Maiden. Amp damage keeps getting put back on Slardar, so he's super squishy. DK? Is it gonna DK? Nope. The DK gets the better of that situation. CM, no. Not gonna happen. And Auk's dead too. They can't fight without Spectre. She didn't have Haunt up. She's going for the Butterfly at the right choice. But I think that might have been a throw. They didn't have Veno up. He was dead. They were pushing into the tier 3, which they didn't. The enemy team was all alive. Didn't have Spectre. Spectre didn't have Haunt. Not gonna be the right choice, guys. Not the right choice. Spectre is making the right choice, however, and pushing out this top lane, and just gonna haunt him when the fight starts. But who's here to start the fight? I mean, it's just they're just gonna push in. This is all Sven has to do. That's it.
Man, you might as well save that energy because Radiant just fortified. Radiant's top barracks are getting attacked.
That's the bottom Rex. They're gonna go for the top just to get those megas, just in case, but that's gonna be the GG for sure. They should probably just end the game here. Yeah, they're gonna give mercy to the Radiant side and give their tier 4 towers a nice smackdown. Auk does buy back. Spectre does ultimate. Trying to make one last stand here. Sven is getting targeted down. Is he going to be able to pop that BKB? He does right before he dies. Mirana has to leap away as well. Veno pops the ultimate. Nice hitting on a lot of people there. Crystal Maiden's ultimate not hitting on a lot of people. Ancient is vulnerable. They turn around and decide to go back in. Ember pretty low on HP though from the Veno ultimate as well as the Slardar. Sven bought back. He's ready to go down mid again, maybe? Just right-click the Ancient? We'll see. Octarine. Huh. Huh. Not what I expected. I thought it was going to be a Shiva's Guard.
Oh, Dire's bottom tower's denied. Oh.
It's a Heaven's Halberd on the Alchemist. He's going a lot of utility. And, I mean, they were doing fine up until the point where they threw the game. By running up mid with 3 people. If Sven goes down here, though, he has the DD, but he's also got the backup of all these creeps to try and kill Spectre. Spectre, of course, returning all that damage to Sven. He's gonna BKB. If he had a TP here, he just want to run away. He's gonna die. That was his buyback too. He's dead for 2 minutes. Not that it matters, however, because they have mega creeps, so they have to fully team wipe them in order to do anything. And if Spectre goes down here, that could very well be GG. She does not have buyback, and they end up killing the Slardar, who buys back himself. Could they kill the DK though? Ember Spirit loses his ability to Sleight of Fist because he was disarmed. He has a Divine Rapier actually, and he dies. He dies with Divine Rapier. Are they gonna notice? Did they not see it? No, the base is dying. And Ember, oh, he gets it back. Oh, Undying, I'm so sorry. That's just the worst. Spectre trying to hold off these mega creeps. Is he gonna be able to do it though? We'll see. We shall see. Ember Spirit doing work with Sleight of Fists. Wow, Mirana actually ended up dying to Spectre. Just a crazy late game hero. But they can't leave their base. That's just the way of life when you have megas attacking your face. Like, this damage going on to Spectre is just reflecting so much back. And a Crush misses. Oh, and she gets right-clicked down. Just crit to death from the Ember and his Divine Rapier. Gonna finish off the Ember, or sorry, the Undying as well. Runs away from Spectre, who just bought back. Uses her Flutter, trying to catch up, but she has to defend the base, which is going down to these mega creeps. Crystal Main runs in and says, "Hey, I can do it. We can win." So we'll see how long they're able to hold out for. And there goes a one-shot onto the Spectre from the Ember Spirit. That's going to be the GG.